Hello viewers, I am Jai Pandit. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will be discussing the turn-on techniques of SCR. By the end of this lecture, students will be able to state the turn-on techniques of SCR, state the conditions for turning on SCR. The first and the foremost important condition for turning on the SCR is the SCR must be forward biased. That means the voltage at the anode must be higher than the voltage at the cathode. The turn-on techniques or methods of SCR are classified into 5 different categories. They are given as forward voltage triggering, gate triggering, dV by dt triggering, thermal triggering, and light triggering. Let us see all these techniques one by one. Forward voltage triggering. As the name suggests, in this technique, the forward voltage across the SCR is increased. Anode voltage is maintained higher than the cathode voltage for maintaining forward bias SCR. As the anode is positive and is connected to the end P layer and cathode is negative which is connected to the end N layer, junctions J1 and J3 becomes forward bias, whereas junction J2 becomes reverse bias. As junction J2 is reverse biased, there is a formation of depletion region at junction J2. This depletion region blocks the flow of current from anode to cathode, but minimal number of mobile charge carriers drift across this junction and results into a leakage current. The magnitude of this leakage current is very small. This leakage current is referred as forward leakage current. As the magnitude of this leakage current is not sufficient enough to make the device conduct, this leakage current cannot turn on the SCR. The magnitude of this leakage current is not sufficient enough to make the device conduct as it is smaller than the latching current. Width of the depletion region is inversely proportional to the voltage across anode to cathode. If we keep on increasing the voltage across anode to cathode, width of the depletion region goes on reducing. This can be experienced from the animation shown in the figure. Let us start increasing the voltage from anode to cathode. At a particular voltage, when anode to cathode voltage is sufficient enough, the breakdown of junction J2 occurs. This breakdown is an avalanche breakdown. As junctions J1 and J3 are already forward biased and the breakdown of junction J2 has occurred, free carrier movement starts from anode to cathode. Because of this free carrier movement, the voltage across the SCR keeps on dropping. The current set up from anode to cathode is termed as forward anode current. When the SCR turns on or when the SCR starts conducting the forward anode current, voltage across the SCR drops to the tune of 1 to 1.5 volts. After turning on the SCR cannot limit the magnitude of current flowing through it. The magnitude of current is now limited by the impedance connected in series with the SCR. Voltage at which the breakdown of junction J2 occurs and conduction starts is known as forward breakover voltage. This is the forward voltage triggering method of SCR. Gate triggering. In this method also, the SCR is maintained under the forward biased condition. For triggering the SCR by gate terminal, a positive gate current is applied to the gate with respect to cathode. In order to apply a positive gate current to the gate terminal is maintained at a higher voltage than that of cathode. Gate terminal is connected to the inner P layer and cathode is connected to the end N layer. If gate is maintained at a higher voltage as compared to that of cathode, then the PN junction or the junction J3 will become forward biased and the conduction will start from gate to cathode. As we have already seen in the video of construction of SCR, that the end layers of the SCR are heavily doped and inner layers of the SCR are lightly doped. Hence, the free charge carriers available in the end layers are higher in number than the inner layers. If the gate is made positive with respect to the cathode, then holes from the gate P layer will drift to the end N layers and electrons from the end N layer will get drifted to gate P layer. As gate P layer is lightly doped, hence all the electrons will not be able to recombine with the holes. Very few number of electrons will recombine with the holes. Thus, the gate P layer will be flooded with electrons. Out of these electrons, some of the electrons reach junction J2 and lead to reduction in the width of depletion region. If the width of depletion region reduces, then there is a chance of avalanche breakdown of junction J2 at the applied anode to cathode voltage. If avalanche breakdown of junction J2 occurs at the applied voltage or the voltage which is less than that of the forward breakover voltage, then a forward current would be set up from anode to cathode. This forward current will latch the SCR into the on state. After latching of the SCR into the on state, even if we remove the gate current, the SCR will remain under the conduction mode. Thus, after turning on of SCR, gate has got no control over the working of SCR. Let us see some important points regarding gate triggering of SCR. SCR can be turned on at a voltage lesser than that of VBO or forward breakover voltage. This can be seen from the animation shown in the figure. Gate is triggered by closing the switch S2. Once the switch S2 is closed, anode current is set up in the SCR. If we further go on increasing the anode to cathode voltage, then the anode current will go on increasing. Once the SCR is turned on, the anode to cathode voltage is now very less, and the anode current will be governed by the supply voltage and the load impedance. SCR has got no control over the anode current. From the VI characteristics, we can see that the forward voltage is related with the gate current. If the forward voltage across the SCR is high, then the gate current required for turning on the SCR will be low. This can be seen from the values of gate currents in the VI characteristics. Here the value of Ig3 is higher than Ig2, which is higher than Ig1. Ig0 is equal to 0 as there is no requirement of gate current when the voltage is equal to the forward breakover voltage. The typical values of gate current vary from 20 mA to 200 mA. If gate current is removed before latching the SCR into the on state, then SCR will be turned off. If anode current falls below the holding current of SCR, then also the SCR will turn off. After turning on of SCR, even if we remove the gate current, the SCR remains under the on condition. dV by dt triggering. Under the forward biased condition of SCR, we know that junctions J1 and J3 are forward biased, whereas junction J2 is reverse biased. As the junction J2 is reverse biased, a depletion region is formed at junction J2. Charges are present on both sides of this depletion region. Hence, we can consider junction J2 as a capacitor with capacitance Cj. If forward voltage is applied to the SCR in very short duration, as shown in the circuit, then due to this high rate of change of voltage across the junction capacitance Cj, some current IC would be established across this junction or the capacitor. The value of this capacitor current is given by IC is equal to Cj into dV by dt, where dV by dt is the rate of change of the voltage across the capacitance. If the value of IC is larger than the latching current of SCR, then SCR is latched into the on state or conduction state. and the forward current would be set up inside the SCR. This type of triggering is known as the dV by dt triggering of SCR. As a matter of fact, this technique is never used for triggering the SCR. In fact, we provide protection to the SCR against high rate of change of voltages. Thermal triggering. Width of the depletion region is inversely proportional to the junction temperature. If the temperature of junction J2 is increased, then the width of depletion region will be reduced. This can be seen from the animation. If we go on increasing the temperature of junction J2, we can see the width of the depletion region is going on reducing. At a particular value of the width of depletion region, the avalanche breakdown of junction J2 will occur due to the available anode to cathode voltage. As junctions J1 and J3 are already forward biased, a free carrier movement will start from anode to cathode. The voltage across anode to cathode will also drop as soon as this free carrier movement starts. This current, which is set up from anode to cathode, is termed as forward anode current. Thermal triggering technique is never used for the triggering of SCR, as thermal time constant is larger than the electrical time constant. Hence, the instant of triggering of SCR cannot be controlled accurately with the help of this method. Also, if the temperature of SCR is increased, then there is a chance of SCR getting permanently damaged. Thus, this method is never used for triggering. Light triggering. This type of triggering is also known as radiation triggering. Again, for SCR to be triggered by light triggering, SCR must be under the forward biased condition. A notch or a window is made in the inner P layer of the SCR as shown in the figure. This window is bombarded with photons which are present in the light. Due to the bombardment of photons, energy is liberated and electron-hole pairs are generated, similar to the gate triggering process. As we have already discussed, the end layers are heavily doped and inner layers are lightly doped. Hence, the number of free electrons present in the end N layer will be higher as compared to that of free holes present in the inner P layer. As junction J3 is already forward biased, these holes and electrons drift from N layer to P layer and P layer to N layer. As inner P layer is lightly doped, all these electrons will not recombine with the holes. Few of these electrons will reach junction J2, which leads to reduction in the width of depletion region. At the available voltage of anode to cathode, there is a chance that the depletion region will have an avalanche breakdown. Once the avalanche breakdown of junction J2 occurs, a free carrier movement will start from anode to cathode, which leads to forward anode current, and the SCR will turn on. Once the SCR is turned on, even if we remove the light signal, then the SCR will remain under the conduction state. Let us see some important points regarding light triggering. With the help of light triggering, SCR can be triggered or turned on at a voltage lesser than that of forward breakover voltage, which is similar to that of the gate triggering. Higher is the forward voltage, lesser is the light intensity required for turning on the SCR. Again, this point is also similar to that of the gate triggering. This type of triggering can be used only in special type of thyristor devices such as LASCR or LASCS, that is light activated SCR or light activated silicon controlled switch. SCRs are mainly used in the HVDC transmission systems. In HVDC transmission systems, we are having HVDC converters which are working at very high voltages. In these HVDC converters, LASCRs are used. For triggering these LASCRs, light triggering method is predominantly used. In this discussion, we have seen 5 turn-on methods of SCR, working and applications of these turn-on methods. These are some references used for creating this presentation. If you like this video, please do hit the like button and please subscribe to our channel for further updates. Thank you.